Tú eres quinto polar, panorama, con letra azul, bajo la luna, bajo de la iguana, bajo laguna. Una playa nos espera, una playa blanqueada, con tábanos que piquen. Oye, pícame más suave, por favor. Esta no es piel de caballo, es piel de luna. So I feel obligated to translate since we're in Ohio. Nothing against Ohio, anything you want to go for. Except Arizona anymore, of course. So here's the translation. Lunatic, you and your quinto polar. I was trying to make a sort of more serious condition than being bipolar. Panorama, with balloon letters, beneath la luna, beneath la iguana, beneath laguna. A beach awaits us, of bleached sand, and horseflies that bite. Dude, bite a bit softer, please. This is not horsehide. This is moonskin. Okay, so at this point, I think I mentioned, I think in my title is something about, I don't know, electronics something. I'm drawing issue here with the idea of electronic literature as a predisposed position. For example, I don't know of many poets or writers who really think they're writing literature because, well, you know, that's like what professors do. Not that I know any professors. And so there's even an organization I hear that is supposedly founded on principles of electronic literature. It's probably in the internet somewhere, but I haven't had a chance to look for it.
Yeah, right.
So when you get a reputation, it never goes over. Let me note like any term, the term electronic literature itself is a bit of a quagmire. Firstly, literature usually arises through the processes of canonization that take place in the academy. And I think we can all appreciate a sort of dual relation to the academy, which would be marvelous to chat about over coffee or something. It cannot be claimed or self-assigned, literature that is, no matter how positive the intentions may be claimed to be. I would suggest that what we do is writing and leave the canonizing, fall where it may, to those, well really I was going to put, since it was canonizing, to those who don't have balls. But I wanted to be more gender equal, so I just left it to those who can't write. Electronic, to be sure, invokes the idea of using computer hardware and software. More particularly, however, it relates to either, 1, devices that operate on principles governing the behavior of electrons, a little more microscopic than our interests, or 2, historical devices such as early 20th century radio devices, semiconductors, copper wire, electromagnets, printed circuit boards, lead-free solder alloyed with tin, electrical machines, especially electromagnetic motors, generators, and transformers. It should be noted that this term does not quite characterize what we do. Though our use of it is semantic, its literal roots are buried deep within, and this metaphor may not accommodate our vision as history rapidly out-accelerates the physical devices to which this term results. So in a sense, it's not electronic, and it's not literature. It's like the word carretera. You can't really translate it as highway, though that's what it means, because carretera has a sound of tires rumbling within it as a word. Ah yes, now I see it. It will itself send the message when a channel opens. No connection here. On a 24-kilometer long sandbank in mid-Carib, 30 kilometers north of Grand Cayman. Turquesa, the sea, but it's not only azure undulations, but the cusps of waves, a psychofluorescent stripe, impeccable, ineffable, momentary. Hay que seguir una semana más. It's like the little tin spoons. Everything is so valuable here. They will spend time to avoid trusting it won't be lost. Mis prendas de plata azul, hoy mi pega. Azure, azuline, silver gleams on sea laurel. Salta de pez, silver sea glimmers. To the south end of the quay, uninhabited, desolate stretches of sand, brush, palmettos, crabs cranky, biting flies, jeep stuck in sand, walk through pummeling heat. Miles from the nearest soul, the jeep stuck in sand, being the hero, my first thought is to take a nap. El jipe astacao en la arena, culpa de mujer. Siendo el héroe del cuento, mi primera idea fue de tomar una siesta. Snorkel off Playa Paraíso, where under a sunken tree hover dozens of curious fish, swarming white and curvaceous as sand, others striped, yellow, audacious. Only satisfaction is scratching, but when you do, outer layers of skin peel off, offering wet pink flesh to tireless flies, sucking bodies, every inch of blood. Hopping straight of Carib Sea and windowless Cuban military plane. No air, suffocating heat, wail of props as if being dragged through lead stew. Russians on their way to Havana. Pico Turquino, Turquesa, Turquía. Perturbed turquoise Turks. Pico Turquino, la montaña azul o el monte de los turcos. The name is believed to be a corruption of turquoise, Spanish Turquí, peak named so for the blue hues taken by the heights in certain views. First mentioned under the name Tarquino on a map drawn by Geraldo Kramer in the late 1700s. Not surprisingly, atop the peak, the highest peak in Cuba, is a bust of José Martí. El punto más alto de Cuba no es una sorpresa que a la cima del pico es un busto de José Martí. Speaking of prison, you could probably get yourself thrown in jail for saying that in certain countries. So are you. Aslo, her square face in the black dress, black tresses, macaroni lips, tortilla